Hey guys, welcome back to the Derick podcast. We're here, episode number 25. So it's pretty exciting. We're getting a lot of episodes in. I didn't think that we would even get this far. I guess in the beginning, I was like, how are we even going to come up with 25 different guests? And we've got stuff scheduled out for a couple of months. So we've got plenty of people coming. It's been a fun thing to bring people together. We do a ton of different categories. Everyone says, what's your podcast about? And I just say it's about people. We just get on and talk. So today we've got Zach Duffy again. We're going to dive a little crypto. He's brought along his, I almost called you a sidekick. Is that demeaning? He's brought along his good friend.
There you go. That's a little bit better.
Brooks Dennett. So how you doing, guys? How's everything going?
Doing good. How are you doing, man?
Good, dude. I'm jacked. I love crypto. I'm very new into it. And so I've been learning a lot about it. Zach actually just blew my mind open one day at the store, and that's when I was like, we got to have you on the podcast.
It's a crazy thing, that's for sure.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on in crypto world right now.
Yeah, and everything's super low right now. This is, December 13th?
13th.
And even just today, there's stuff dropping like crazy.
There is. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
I've been watching the markets all day.
So what's new? What's going on? Give us some updates on everything. How's X-Punks going?
X-Punks is good. We just got done with our billboards, so it was pretty cool in New York.
Yeah. Yeah, when I think you sent it to me, one of the articles on it, and I was jacked.
It's got to be pretty cool to see that advertisement out in the middle of Times Square.
It absolutely is. It's really cool to be involved from a project from the very beginning until where it grew to. So that's really cool to be a part of course.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah. Well, I think we kind of are talking right at the beginning. Let's jump into, what did you call it? What was you had a good...
So times like these, there's a whole aspect of the markets, and it's not just the crypto market, but any market, stock market, commodities. There's market psychology.
Market psychology.
That's basically how your brain and your emotions work under certain conditions in the market. So right now there's a lot of panic in the market. There's a lot of fear. So, people like to make irrational moves and mistakes during these times because of their emotions, basically.
Sure.
So there's a whole realm of market psychology and how to understand how the markets move, how they work, how to understand the cycles with them, where you can actually make logical decisions versus emotional decisions, I guess you can say.
Yeah. Well, that's what's hard right now is like my limited knowledge. I look at the graphs and the candlesticks like Zach showed me one day, and I'm like, it just like this doesn't look good. Like anyone just looking at it for face value, it looks so bad right now. And it's like, and people are asking me, are you nervous? Are you nervous? And I'm like, not really. It just means it's all on sale. It's time to go in.
Exactly. It's that's definitely one way to look at it for sure. Obviously, there's going to be a time when that market does finally turn around and start making its way down and stuff. But I kind of tell people, think of a market as, the price of it. It's going to move in 2 steps or 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, 3 steps forward, 2 steps back kind of thing, Nothing really ever moves up in a straight line, So what goes up must come down. What goes down must come up, And so you get days like today or even last Sunday. Last Sunday there was a big drop in the market as well. And I know I was at home watching a movie, and my phone just started blowing up like crazy. Hey, what's going on? What's going on? The market's falling. It's tanking, And we've got people invested that have $500 all the way to $50,000 to $100,000 and more, And so these people are hitting me up. What's going on? What's going on? I'm like, hey, just chill, relax,
Take a breath.
Don't make any decisions right now, because what goes down must come back up. If you want to exit the market, you're going to pull up. You'll exit on that pullback is what we call it, a retracement, Don't sell at the very bottom. I mean, markets have that thing, the simple concept when someone talks to you about stock markets, it's buy low, sell high, right?
Sure.
Simple concept, so hard to execute because when things are getting going and they're really, really high, people, that's where they want to get in.
Yeah.
They're buying the tops. They're doing the exact opposite. Same thing when markets are crashing. people get scared. Oh, I can't take the pain. I can't take the blood. You know, it's like I'm losing all my money. I don't want to lose anymore. And so they exit at the bottom. So they're doing the complete opposite.
Exactly.
They're buying at the top and they're selling at the bottom. And that's where market psychology comes in.
Yeah, I've heard, and with the stock market is what I'm referring to, people would always say, well, once you've heard of that stock, it's probably too late. And at least what I've seen in some of the cryptocurrencies I'm in, like with everything that was going up and now it's starting to come back down. And so I'm telling people like, yeah, now you've heard of it. Like, let's just throw XRP out there. Right. And it's like, I bought it $1.25 and it's down to 78 cents. Is that what we decided? Something like that.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah. I think we're at 79 when we pulled up
79 cents.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, well, most people have heard of XRP and it's not too late. Like, it's a good time to get in right now, if you ask me. I mean, and I don't know if we need to, I don't know the legalities of this. Like, I'm no lawyer or financial advisor. So I don't know if we need to say that or not.
That is one thing that we've learned to always say, especially with the business that we had, none of this is financial advice. Please do your own research. We can kind of tell you the things that we're doing, but you still need to go out and do your own research. Don't make decisions just based off of what we're saying,
Yeah.
You can definitely get some people into hot water if you say, hey, go out and buy this, buy this, buy this, buy this, and if you're not an actual financial advisor and whatnot, So, but even just along those lines, I tell people, hey, don't just take my word for it. Go do your research on it, because I don't want you blindly investing your money. That's your hard-earned money,
Sure.
I'll tell you exactly what I'm doing and how I've done it, but that doesn't necessarily mean I'm 100% right. There's the market's the market. I don't get to choose what it does.
Exactly. I don't
and
control
whatnot.
it.
I have my data that I go off of and what I think it's going to do, and probability and statistically I think it'll do. But at the end of the day, nobody truly knows.
The problem is a lot of people have the mindset of gambling too, and it's not gambling, it's investing. Like, it's all about timing the market, not timing it. So a lot of people don't take that to heart, and they need to.
Yeah.
Well, and along the lines of that too, people have seen our story here locally, and they think it was kind of a get rich quick, kind of an overnight thing. They don't realize that we've been in the markets for since 16 now, so 5, almost 6 years, and they're like, well, how did you make all that money so quick? It's like, I didn't.
Yeah.
We've had times where, in a week or a month, we've made exponential amounts of money, but that came from investing a long time ago, accumulating at those ugly, ugly prices where people don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So time in the market is absolutely huge. Like he said, timing is definitely important too, but it really depends on what your goals are,
Well, that's a lot of things. People think that you just jump in and they don't know. It's like there's a meme out there, or I don't know if it's a meme. It's like a picture, and it has an iceberg, and it has like success, fame, or whatever on the top, and then it's got this 4 times the size underneath that says like hard work, late nights, 24-hour days, but nobody sees that.
100% accurate.
Yeah.
I see that meme or that picture all the time, and I actually take my time to actually glance at that because it's so true. People see the profits and what you're doing and this and that, but they're not seeing all the ugly times, the money that you've lost, the time that you put into research. They don't see all that,
Yeah.
And so they want to take your advice and just boom, get in, make a little bit of money, and then get out. And it's like, it's possible, but not realistic.
Sure. You're like, and that's not what I did.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's like, and Zach will see this too with you guys moving the storefront to the main road of Sunset. But like, I've got the store on Sunset, and everyone's like, man, it's so cool that you have this store. Like, it's so fast. You've had the safe company for 3 years, and you've got this store that's, we're moving probably more safes than anyone in Southern Utah.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, but I've been doing business for 12 years on other things. And I have a handful of businesses that have failed, and I have some that I closed down, but no one sees that.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's a good point to make.
They see the final product, they see the final where you're at, but they don't see everything before.
Yeah.
That can be said for investing too. Like, I think if people that have a business mindset like that would have different views on investing in crypto than, you know, somebody that does not own their own business.
Sure. Yeah.
A lot of this comes down to mindset. A lot of it, there are skills involved in investing, but they're minuscule in comparison to the mindset and the psychology, I believe.
Yeah, I got in with Doge was the first thing I ever bought when Doge was starting to make its climb, and I was like, yeah, dude, I'm just gonna make a couple $100 and get out, right? And I got like 100, and then I couldn't take it anymore. Yeah. Like, it was going up and down and up and down and up and down, and I just couldn't take it, so I just sold and got out. And then I've realized that, like, okay, this is a lot. There is no short game in any of this. Stocks, crypto. I mean, unless you hit it right and you're the lucky guy, I don't know, but I just don't feel it.
Yeah, short games where the skill comes into play a lot more. That's where you have to maximize that skill and maximize the psychology, because you can do a lot by getting in and getting out, but you really, really have to know what you're doing on that, you know. And it's pretty difficult, and that's why they say 96% of people lose money in the markets is because, you know, they're timing everything wrong, or they're trading wrong. They're letting their emotions get the best of them. I'll tell you this. I remember, so when I first got into trading, even just foreign exchange, Forex, which was, you know, back in 2015, year prior to crypto, I took my first live trade when I was working down in Vegas at Luxor, and I remember I went on lunch break, and I had just funded my account with, I think, $1,000. You know, I had $1,000 live money, and I went and sat down at this restaurant, and I'm having my dinner, this and that, blah blah blah, and I analyze the charts a little bit, and I find a perfect setup. And my very first trade that I took, while I was sitting there, I think I made about $250 or $270 or something like that. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. This is freaking cool. I'm like, you can really do that? You know, I'm sitting there having dinner, pushing buttons, hitting buy and sell kind of thing, you know? And that happened within an hour's time frame. Now, disclaimer, I was using high leverage, and I was very beginner at that time, you know? After that, I mean, I was instantly hooked. But that first week or two, I think I grew my account from 1,000 to 3,000. But as quick as I made it, I lost it just as quick. I blew through about 4 different accounts because I was emotionally trading. You know, I'd go into a loss, and I'm like, okay, I'm down $100, I'm down $200. Okay, let me add another position because it's gonna go the way I think it's gonna go. No. You have when you first start, you have this biased view of the market, you know, and you have to have a neutral perspective of it, not what you think it's going to do, but based off the data that you see, you know. And after time, you kind of get a natural eye for it to kind of see how the market moves in its cycles, you know.
Just after time and time and time and time you're putting into it.
Yeah, but it took me 4 accounts to I blew through 4 accounts before I was like, all right, I cannot trade emotionally anymore.
See, that's what I'm nervous of, is I am a little what's the word? When you like impulsive.
Sure.
I can be a little impulsive, so I get a little nervous about it, and I have to like sit back and be like, okay, is this the smart way to do this? Am I panicking? You know, and try to analyze what my emotion is going into that.
Well, if you think about it, I mean, you end up having a 50-50 chance on going into it, buying and selling, you know. I mean, that's when you're gambling, though. The real thing in trading, whether it's crypto, whether it's commodities, whether it's stocks, anything like that, is you're just trying to get an edge over the market, you know? So you're just trying to just like a casino has, like blackjack, 52, 53% edge, you know? They've got 3% or 4% edge over the gambler. So they know the long haul over the law of averages that they'll make 4% off of all the money that comes in on blackjack or whatever, off of completely random events. They don't know how the cards are going to be shuffled or anything like that, but it's because of the rules that are placed in their system, basically.
Got you.
So, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does, yeah.
But trading's interesting.
Trading is interesting.
It is. It's
never trade the news, too, if you're going to trade Forex. I've learned my lesson the hard way many times.
You know what's funny, Zach, is I was just going through some text messages earlier from back at the trade house, and it happened to be on election night.
And Donald Trump election.
Yeah, somebody was texting me, "Hey, what are you doing?" I said, "Oh, we're trading the news right now. We're up $1,000 or we're up $2,000 or something, whatever it was. Because it happened in 30 seconds or a minute or something like that. Yeah. That was strictly gambling. That was straight gambling. That was just having fun, But it's funny that you say that on the news because I happened to look at those text messages right before I came over.
That's pretty funny.
Well, what do you guys think drives the market right now? Where the stock market's down, the crypto market's down. Do you know? What do you believe drives that? Okay, because that's what I've been telling people, but I'm no expert in any of this.
Yeah, any market is going to be down during this time because everybody's spending their money and everybody's like, oh, I have that crypto, it's up right now. I have that stock, it's up right now. Elon Musk and Bezos sold billions of dollars of stock recently. So, yeah. But, market's correct. It'll always come back up.
Sure.
Especially the crypto market. It's extremely volatile. When it goes as low as it did, as fast as it did, then the next rebound up is going to be pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's like so it's exciting steps back, right? 3 steps forward coming.
It's exciting for it to go down that fast because going the opposite direction, more than likely it's going to go extremely fast too.
And one thing I want to add to that that just popped into my head was, so we talk about the markets and stuff, and there's a quote from Warren Buffett that says, markets are just a tool to transfer money from the impatient to the patient.
Yeah.
That's strictly what it is. It's just a tool to transfer money.
There was the couple books that I read, and one of them was the Tony Robbins, where he goes and interviews all the people, and a lot of them are stock market people, and they go over that over and over and over and over. What you're saying is everyone sells when it's down because they're panicking, and then they buy when it goes back up. And it's funny because it's so cliche to buy when you're low, sell when you're high. And that's mainly what he's talking about. So over the last couple of days when people have talked to me about what's going on with crypto, so that's what I've been saying. I'm like, it's got to just be people cashing out to buy holiday gifts and whatnot. And that, maybe that starts the tumble, and then people start pulling out, and that's when it gets drastic.
Yeah, the crypto market's still, I think, new enough and small enough still that it's manipulated as well. And so there can be some pretty big players that have timed events and they sell at the same time.
Tax season, too. It's the end of the year.
There's another thing too, which is called and I don't know how technical we want to get on this for people that are watching and whatnot, but there's something else that's called a liquidation cascade is what they call it, where people have their positions in the market, and it would just call a stop loss. So they're longing the market, which they're buying it, expecting the price to go up, and they have a protection on their account set at a certain level. So if it goes below that, it exits out their position in a loss, right? Well, there's so many people that just have different levels of that set, and once those wells, that's for people that don't know what that is. That's a lot of, or people that have a lot of money in the markets.
Yeah, players,
big players, yeah. And if they make a certain move, they know where stop losses are set, and so they can trigger one, and then that creates more liquidity, and then just they keep triggering, and it just it's a waterfall basically.
Interesting.
But then there's all the buy orders sitting at the bottom, which kind of bring it back up. But
all the USDTs.
Yeah, exactly. That too. Yeah.
So the buy orders would be so people can set it when it gets so low that it executes a buy for them.
Yep. Exactly.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And then what did you say? The USDTs.
Yeah, USDTs. Yeah.
Explain that, because you explained that to me, and I'd never really thought about
the tethers.
Brooksy could explain it so much better than me, honestly.
Oh, that's
All right, I'm gonna look it up on my phone. You talk about something else, and we'll go over the graph. Seriously.
No, talk about something else. But
now you're talking about tethers being printed, right?
Yes.
We're on the same page with that. Yeah. Yeah, so USDT is supposedly it's a stable coin. The issue that we have with the stable coin is that we don't know 100% about is if it's actually backed by a dollar. So same thing with how our US dollar gains and loses its value. the USDT, they have a mint, I guess you could say, just like the Federal Reserve is a mint or whatnot. But they just like this week, they've been just been on a roll, printing $1 billion, $1 billion, $1 billion, $1 billion, you know, almost every single day. The big question is that stable coin, or is that $1 billion backed by actual $1 billion on there, you know, or are they just printing it? So what that does is there's a lot of word going around in the crypto market that USDT is being printed, not being backed by anything. They're funneling that money into the crypto market, specifically Bitcoin, especially when it's on a big run on there. And they'll funnel that money into Bitcoin, and then basically people see the market going up or down. Works the same way on there. But they get people to buy in, for example, and then they switch their money out for the actual real US dollar, and then the price dumps.
That's what I was talking about.
Yeah, exactly. I remember looking at that. We were at lunch that day.
You need to send that to me, because I was telling someone about that. I was like, yeah, he pulled up like this graph that it goes to here, goes to here, goes to here, but I couldn't find it.
So it's Tether prints tethers to buy Bitcoin. Bitcoin USDT price skyrockets. Arbitrage bots buy Bitcoin USD because everyone assumes 1 USDT equals 1 US dollar. Bitcoin USD jumps to match Bitcoin USDT price. Price increase brings in more dumb money, US dollars, to buy Bitcoin. Bitcoin USD price skyrockets, and USDT also skyrockets, and then Tether sells Bitcoin for US dollars, and then that just keeps going around and around and around. Yep.
Big cycle.
So for those that don't know, because I didn't, explain the USD. So the way I understand it is, say you own Ethereum, Bitcoin, whatever, and it goes up to where you have $4,000 in your account worth of that crypto. And then maybe it starts to come down, maybe it's starting to hit a little bit of a dip, then you can pull that out and put it into USDT. Is that right?
Correct.
And then it holds at that value, and then whatever you were in, it doesn't matter now because you're holding at that dollar amount.
Yes. It's supposed to be backed 1-to-1, yeah.
So that's what we're explaining is, now that you're in that account with USDT, what is actually backing that up other than the numbers on your app?
And it kind of comes down to the US dollar as well, though, because the US dollar isn't really backed by anything now. We're purely on faith now.
True.
So it's scary in the crypto aspect, though, because I mean that value could drop at any time, you know, because it's not really backed by anything.
That's why all my money is going to go into USDC.
So that's what I was going to ask, because I've seen USDT and USDC. Is there other ones?
There's more, yeah.
There's more? So what's the difference? What are they?
Well, it's all about the company that starts that stable coin, right?
Okay.
So like Circle created USDC. That's why it's called USDC.
Okay.
Circle.
USDT is Tether.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Correct, yeah. But USDC is backed by Goldman Sachs, so obviously your money's going to be safe in something like that.
Yeah.
That's why I'm going to do that. You know, like USDT, they've already been sued. Bitfinex is a company that Bitfinex and iFinex, I think is what it is.
iFinex is behind Tether, I believe.
And Bitfinex, which is an exchange, so.
Yeah.
See, like I even understand it a little bit, and it still like makes my gears start going.
Oh, even us. I mean, 5 years in, we're still like, what? Really? Like, you gotta be kidding me. You know, there's still a whole lot to learn in crypto. You know, I like to think that Zach understands the technology way better than I do, as far as like the intricate details of how that blockchain and technology works. I end up focusing more on the charts and the data and the cycles and how it looks on a screen, basically, and the psychology aspect of it.
Okay.
You know? So,
well, we kind of talked about XRP last time. Is there any updates on that? Do we know anything with their lawsuit? I mean, is there anything to touch on? Or is there too much to touch on?
Yeah, there's
a lot.
There's a lot that's going on. Here's the thing about the lawsuit. Whether people are fans of XRP or not, doesn't matter to, us, but if they're involved in the crypto market, they should be rooting for XRP to win this case,
Good point.
Which I really think that they're going to. There's a whole nother side of the story that this thing is, whether it's conspiracy, whether it's just a front, a show to buy some time on some stuff, but I won't really get into that. However, if XRP or Ripple loses this lawsuit, it's not just bad for XRP or Ripple, it's bad for the entire market, the entire crypto market. So people that are like, oh, well, we want XRP to lose because we want our crypto to gain in value. No, you're not understanding. You want XRP to win because that gives all crypto like almost a go ahead, but not officially, but it's a good start on, to start moving forward.
Now you've got the game plan.
Exactly. However, it's funny that we got into XRP 5 years ago. I know that I got into it blindly. I didn't know what I was getting into at the time. I invested first, did research later, which is complete opposite of what I preach now, but I was willing to take a risk. XRP, for those that don't know, is the native token of Ripple, the company. I think you talked about that last time
Ripple Labs,
on there, Ripple Labs, They're the only ones that are working with, central banks and the IMF, the ECB, the European Central Bank, all these major financial institutions and stuff like that. They've been working with Congress. They've been working with the SEC throughout, So it's just funny when I see SHIB or Doge and stuff get listed like on Coinbase or Binance, but it's like, oh, XRP can't be on there, when it's like the most legitimate one out there,
Well, that's what started our conversation. Was you had brought up XRP, Zach brought up XRP, and I was like, yeah, dude, aren't they like banned or something? Because on crypto.com you can't buy it, and so I'm like, well, something's clearly wrong with them. What's that?
Almost.
Almost.
You can almost buy it.
Yeah.
They're relisting it.
That's what you were telling me, is it's coming back.
Yeah.
And does that, because a lot of people will call and tell me, like SHIB, hey, dude, it's getting listed on Coinbase or whatever. And they're like, get ready for a pump. And like most of the time it doesn't even happen. So like, is that a thing when they're hitting other, well, I think XRP will, because it's kind of on nothing, right?
Well, so each listing, no matter what crypto it is a separate market for each exchange that it's on. That's why you can get different prices for the same asset. So yeah, that's the problem. But once that market matures, then that would add liquidity to the overall price and help the overall price. So
yeah, that was something interesting that you showed me too on Coin Market Cap, right? On the bottom, when you scroll down on one, it'll tell you on what exchange it's like, what it's worth on different exchanges.
Yeah.
And I was like, I've just been selling it on crypto.com or MetaMask or whatever, Uniswap, whatever, this whole time.
Yeah.
And then I didn't know that was a thing.
So when you get into technicals of that, that's basically called arbitrage. You're exploiting the difference in prices. So, if Coinbase has it at, we'll just say an easy number, $1, for example, and crypto.com, if it had it on there listed, let's say it's $1.02 or $1.03. I mean, if you have an exponential amount of crypto on there and you have it on Coinbase and it's at $1, but it's on crypto.com, it's $1.02, that's a 2% difference,
Yeah.
You move it over and cash out there versus on Coinbase, so you can do that kind of, but yeah, that's arbitrage.
Well, my best advice is to just cash out on the coin that, like the exchange that has it's listed the highest, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not, because arbitrage can be good if you can. Most exchanges don't allow it though. But yeah, if you have your asset in a hardware wallet and you want to cash out, then you can go on CoinMarketCap, find the highest listed market, and then sell it at that exchange. It can make the difference between a few $100 or not. I mean,
sure. If you've got that much.
And some people it could be a few thousand or tens of thousands.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know how much you have
Yeah,
invested.
that's not me yet. That's you guys. That ain't me.
oh, Brooks has way more crypto than I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's an interesting thing. I've become kind of numb to it now.
Yeah.
You have to become numb to the price.
It's funny. I don't know if we want to get into actual figures, but Sunday night, not last night Sunday night, but the week prior, just laying down, watching a movie, right, and the market just starts dropping. I didn't notice it, but my phone just starts blowing up.
Yeah,
hey, what's
that's
going
how
on?
I'm
What's
getting
going on?
too.
What's going on? You know, and I look at my account. I'm down almost 6 figures in an hour, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I'm like, what is going on? But I'm like, it's another part of it. I shake it off, you know, and I'm make my text back, hey, don't panic, don't sell it, just hold tight, blah blah blah, you know, the whole routine with it. Don't make any decisions right now, you know. But
you got to be hip. You got to say the new terms. Diamond hands, man. Come on.
Diamond hands?
I don't know if I'm in diamond hand. I mean, yeah, I'm definitely diamond handed, but I don't know if I don't know if I
use the lingo yet.
I don't know that I want to, just in the sense that
Okay.
it's. I think it comes down to all these new people coming into crypto.
But do you have diamond hands?
Well, I mean, I'm not a rapper. I don't have jewelry or anything like that, you know. So, but yeah, I mean, I have diamond hands in the fact that, like, hey, I'm not
in the mindset.
In the mindset, absolutely. 100%.
There you go.
But it comes to the point where, like, it's funny because we talk to people that are getting into crypto and stuff like that. And there's always a type of person that comes into crypto, you know. They come in, they invest $500, they make $500 off of it. They've doubled their money, right? Mm-hmm. They are now a crypto genius. They're an expert. Buy Doge, buy this, buy this, buy this. It's going here, it's going here. And I just I just get a kick out of it, you know. It's kind of funny. But because I saw myself, you know, years ago, that's how I was too. And it's just an interesting perspective that you have, and that's where the emotions come in now, you know. But whether you're making $200 a day or $500 a day or $5,000 a day or $50,000 a day, you know, you have to be numb to it, and it's you have to just take the emotion completely out of it, or else you will make irrational decisions, you'll make emotional decisions, you know, and
then you'll be the guy on Twitter freaking out because you lost all your money.
Yeah,
I mean, Doge did that to me. It was like 8 cents, I think, when I first bought in, when it was going up, and it got up to, I think it got up to 11 and then started coming down, and I was like panicking, and I'm like, it's tanking, right? And it's going down like a penny, and I'm losing like $30.
Yeah.
And then it starts to come back up, and I think I'd sold it at $100 profit, and then the next day it was at like 30 something cents, and I was like, freak, man. And so then I ended up getting in over like, I think I had over $4,000 into it at one point, and it made that pump up to like 47 cents or 48 cents. And then it tanks all the way down to like 20 cents. And then I think I had to wait for it to get to like 32, and I sold out making another $200 or $300, I think.
I usually tell people when you make a move, like you're liquidating or you're buying in or anything like that, after you do that, take a couple days off and don't even look at the market, because you're going to, you know, if you buy in, let's say whatever crypto it is, and it's at, you know, 50 cents, let's just say, you know, and you buy in and it dips down to 40 cents, you're like, oh man, I could have got in here. You have to trust yourself. You have to trust your process and everything. But that's where you'll start investing way more than you should, and it can get ugly if you don't take like a little pause and really think logically about it.
That's smart. I've got a buddy right now that he's making some moves. He put some money into one of the apps, and then all of this happened over the last couple of days. And with Ethereum, he put everything into Ethereum to disperse it from there.
Yeah.
And he's down like $1,000.
Yeah.
And he's like, freak, man, what do I do? And I'm like, just wait, just hang on.
It's funny when we talk about losses, I'll give an experience that I had yesterday. So, so we hold that XRP, a significant amount of XRP, you know. When you hold that, there's now what's called airdrops coming out. I don't know if you're familiar with what airdrops are.
I've heard the term. I don't know what it is.
So basically new projects coming out, new markets, etc. And if you hold a certain amount, they give you a certain ratio of a new crypto, right? So there's one called Songbird that got airdropped to us a couple weeks ago, you know. So they airdropped me a good chunk of it, and you know, I went to go liquidate it yesterday. So I was liquidating about $20,000 and cashing it out on there. And from the time, now they were doing another snapshot for a different crypto, and it was at 11 a.m. So I'm sitting there at 11 a.m. because I wanted to get the snapshot, but I also wanted to cash out on that, right? So I'm trying to time this just right. But this is how quick crypto markets can move. So 1058, it's like 56, 57 cents. 1059, it's like 57, 58 cents, right? I'm like, cool. As soon as 11 o'clock hit and that snapshot was completed, I was getting ready to move over to my other account where I can actually liquidate and cash out, right? From the time it took me to move that Songbird as the crypto over to my exchange to cash it out and change it back into USD on there, the market was moving so fast that $19,700 went down to $13,200 in a matter of less than 5 minutes. I mean, I started moving it at 11:01, 11:02, I think. And by the time my orders got filled, it was like 11:07, 11:08 or something like that, and I ended up with 13.2. I'm like, it sucks, you know, but there's, like I said, there's no emotion behind it. Sure. It's just, it's one of those things that you just become numb to, and that comes with years of just looking at the markets and just experiencing it, you know.
Yeah, I think my mindset to it now is like I don't have I don't have tens of thousands of dollars in. But I'm like, I'm just holding. And like my mindset's that I'm holding.
That's a good mindset.
And so people are always like, oh, dude, it's doing this. It's doing this. So you're saying like you're getting blown up. Like you don't even see the market. People are texting you. And then that's when you see the market.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to get to that because a lot of my close friends were either in it a little bit with like Doge and whatnot, and I've kind of been like, hey, dude, look into this one. Like, I don't know. I put a little bit here. I put a little bit there. And so I get those texts now too. Dude, it's tanking. What's going on? Are we screwed? Yeah. I'm just like, no, dude, just wait. You're fine.
You are if you sell.
Yeah, you are if you sell.
So I will say this, though. Personally, I believe Bitcoin's tops in. And personally, I believe Ethereum's tops in. Now, that's just my personal opinion based off the data that I've seen on there, which is good for everything else that's not Bitcoin and Ethereum. So if you're in Bitcoin and Ethereum, if I was in those, I would be on this. When it pulls back, I would probably be exiting, just my personal exits, you know?
Okay, so I'm like mining Ethereum. So what's your thoughts on that? Because I know they're going to go to 2.0 and then that goes away anyway.
Well, if you're mining, you're constantly just accumulating. So you're basically dollar cost averaging at that point. So, I mean.
So just mine it until it goes away?
Your power bill.
Yeah. Yeah, until you reach a point where it's costing more to mine, that's okay. You know, price doesn't really have too big of an issue on it. I mean, obviously you want to make money and you want the price to go up on it, you know, but
usually mining, if you hold, you get more rewarded, as you've seen.
Yeah, right. Like I've been in it enough months now where I'm like, okay, I get it. Like, and I've had people be like, well, you know, your power is this or this is this, and so you're not making money, and what's it cost you in power? And I'm like, well, I've seen the numbers. I can look at the numbers, and I've pulled money out into my bank account to make sure it's real, and I've done all this stuff, and I'm like, I've bought real things with this, so I know it's real. And well, we had a question actually that someone, because we said post questions and we'll kind of go through it and answer it, and one of them was on mining, and it's such a foreign thing because when someone pictures mining in the real world, they think of like a pick and they're knocking rocks off a mountain, right? And,
hey, it's good money.
Yeah. And so the question basically was, so, you know, you spend thousands of dollars on all the equipment, you're spending hundreds of dollars on the power. Like, what are you actually getting? And it was like, is it tangible? Is it something that you're receiving tangibly? Or is it just an online, you know, asset? I think that's how they worded it.
Online asset.
Yeah. And so that's the answer for people that, because I get it all the time. And when I started mining, I didn't tell anybody. And I didn't.
You're a closet miner.
Yeah. Well,
Derick,
I didn't know if it was going to work. And so I was like, I don't want other people to follow me into it and then have it not be anything.
No, for sure.
And same with just buying crypto in general.
Yeah.
And so mining, I feel pretty confident in what I've done so far and what I think I'll do. And I'm getting into some other stuff too with mining. And I didn't, now I'm kind of starting to tell people, hey, I'll build you this rig if you want to do this. Ethereum's going away, so if you want to do it, maybe get what you can and then switch to something else, but do your research on different coins that you can mine. CPU mining, I've kind of got 2 feet in on that in the last month, and so I've been doing a lot of CPU mining too.
How's that been going?
Good, but Raptorium started tanking when everything else did, so it went from 8 cents to 2 cents, and now it's not profitable. So the Monero, I think they call it Monero, or
That's like privacy coin, yeah.
Yeah. So there's Monero Ocean. Is that the same thing, or are they two different things? Have you heard of that?
No, I'd imagine it's probably just a fork with different different rules.
I think now that you say that, I think you're right.
That's typically what it is. When you see multiple, like there's Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin SV, it's basically the same coin just forked off, and the new coin has just a different set of rules that it has to abide by for the most part.
Well, because what I was actually reading about it before I came here to see if we need to switch the rigs over to this Monero. But I think they call it Monero Ocean, and what it does is it farms it mines like 3 or 4 different coins, but then it pays you out in XMR in Monero, and so I guess that was like the profitable way to do this before Raptorium went up to 6 cents and then up to 8 cents, and so now I'm wondering if I need to switch everything over to the other one. But,
have you heard of NiceHash?
Yeah.
NiceHash has auto-changing algorithms based on your hardware, so it will mine whatever the most profitable for the day is.
Okay, because I know about it, but I've never done anything with it.
And you can do that with Hive OS too somehow, I'm sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
because that's what I was going to say. All I've ever played with is Hive OS. I did a Windows one for like a week, and I hated it.
That's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
All I know is when we were in mining, he was the brains of the operation on all the algorithms, this and that, and Paul and I we'd put together the logistics
plug in
of
the cables.
Yeah, the cables, and hey, we need to order this, we need to order that. We're setting up meetings and this and that to get more rigs, and he's like, all right, we're going to. All right, we're at 64 hashes. I'm like, cool, let's go.
Yeah.
All the technical details behind it and the technology, like.
Yeah, it's just interesting to me more than anything. Cool. It's almost like I almost view it as a hobby much as like a income producer. You know,
it's crazy to see where crypto is going to take the world, and because there's still so few people that know about it and even know what it is or what it does or what it's used for or its utility or why it's even there. So when people talk about mining and stuff, like a lot of people, it just goes right over their head. But once you start deep diving into it and you're like, oh, okay, I get it. Like, it makes sense, Right.
Well, we kind of talked about it last time of why there's miners, how they get paid, what they get paid in, and that kind of thing. I was going to ask you one more thing on that, but
the easiest way I look at it for people that don't know, and I don't know if you guys said this last time because I kind of fast forwarded through it, but
just be honest, you didn't watch my podcast.
Dude, I watched it. I probably watched about 20 minutes of it total on there.
Wow.
So
hopefully you watched more of this one.
I'm experiencing it right now. So
you get the director's cut, man.
Exactly. I don't know. I look at mining as just whoever's the miner is just kind of playing the middleman, doing the hard work of making sure that they're validating transactions, making sure things line up, that this goes here and this goes here, and you get a little cut of it,
Yeah.
It's like miners are the bank.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, it's a different language, and so it goes over your head extremely easy.
100%.
But at the same time, you get into it, you start reading, you feel stupid, you ask questions, you kind of look like a dummy. But most of the people, like both of you guys, if there's questions, you just throw them out and you get them answered, and it's not that intimidating. I guess would be the way to put it. Discord's
a good way to do that. Yeah,
dude, I had never even heard of Discord until I got into mining.
Huge in crypto.
Yeah, and my brother's kind of a gamer, and I told him, I guess there's this thing called Discord, and he's all, you never heard of Discord? I was like, no. And I was like, I got on there, and there was like 6 dudes in a voice chat. 2 of them were on video, and I said, hey, how do I do this? And they said A, B, and C, and it was done.
Yep. And a lot of like-minded people in those groups, which is cool. And you have so many different types of groups. So, I mean, like your Xpunks groups and all the different NFT groups and all that sort of stuff, too. I mean,
Well, even like a lot of the coins I've been looking into, there's Discords for each coin, and there's support things, and there's, like, I'm getting into some of the smart nodes, and there's Discords for those. And, Well, and I had a friend, this is how foreign it is. Like I had a friend, I'm like, yeah, I was on a Discord and there's this dude and he's on the East Coast and he was telling me to plug this in and do that.
And
he's
buddy
like,
thinks you're crazy.
Well, and he's like, what did he charge you?
Oh, yeah,
and I'm like, nothing, dude. He just wanted to help me. He was just down in his basement putting some computers together.
Exactly.
It's very foreign.
Yeah. I mean, there's times I just jump into those Discord, like audio chat rooms, and I'll just put an earpiece in and just work. And I'll just have them talking, and I'll just be picking up lingo as they're going.
So I'll say the people like you and like us, and these people that are getting into the technology and before the masses and the mass adoption comes in, those are going to be the people that become the new 1%ers, or make a ton of money.
Yeah,
off
the
of
new
it.
money.
The new money. Most people in their life will probably still never understand how crypto works, and they'll never even really experience it. All they'll know is that money's just kind of like Venmo, I mean, when I Venmo somebody or when somebody Venmos me, they don't understand the inner workings of what's going on behind the scenes, and that's how crypto's going to be in the future, especially with like XRP, mainly for banks and stuff like that, but when they make a transaction, they're not going to see all the behind the scenes stuff. They're going to see the nice user interface from the end to end on there, and they won't even know what's happening behind the scenes. But the people that are actually working behind the scenes, like Zach with Xpunks, oh man,
yeah,
that's going to get crazy.
That's interesting. To be able to explain that to someone, it's like, well, what's Venmo?
Right.
Like that's just numbers on a screen too. Oh, well, yeah, but I can transfer it to my bank. I'm like, well, so can I.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's a good way to make it, an everyday thing that people deal with.
Well, what do they say? They say, I want to say it's 3% of all the money that's in the world. There's only 3% of it in actual cash.
Yeah, I believe that.
It's funny. I like to watch some YouTubers that do pranks and stuff like that. And this is kind of a side note. This guy down in Arizona, he's like, okay, for this video, I want to be the first person to spend $250,000 in cash in $1 bills to buy a Lamborghini. It took him a week and a half or 2 weeks to get those because he couldn't just walk into a bank and get that much cash out. I mean, you have to place orders with, these different reserves. Basically, oh yeah, we need X amount, and and the vaults only hold so much as well, so everything is going digital. I don't necessarily know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but if you're on the right side of it, you'll be.
It's a good thing and a bad thing, even if you're on the right side of it.
For sure.
There's no more transparency. That's the problem.
that is definitely a scary thing for sure.
No, I agree. That's kind of what pushed me into this. Is I think it's very clear that they're trying to push the dollar out, and I think they've tried to for a long time, and this is going to be their way to do it and not make that dollar worth anything. And so I was like, okay, well, let me look into this and see if this is actually a viable option for taking over the dollar or, making it worth nothing.
Yeah.
And people are like, well, how are they ever going to do that? And I'm like, it won't be that hard. Like so I employ a 16-year-old. I talk about Abe pretty often on the podcast. Like they don't even know anything about cash. They don't carry cash. They don't do any of that. It's Venmo and debit cards, and they're lucky if they carry a debit card.
Yeah,
Well, then
Apple Pay.
Yeah, Apple Pay. Yeah,
and then that gets into the whole idea of how our economy even works. Our economy is designed to ultimately crash. There will never be enough money to pay all the money that's owed.
Yeah.
There's more money owed that's actually in existence than is in existence. So that can only go on for X amount of time. I don't know if it'll be in our lifetime or not, but
that's interesting though.
Yeah. So I mean,
it's like down the roads of fractional reserve banking.
Oh yeah, we can go down the rabbit hole on all that stuff. It's absolutely insane when you. I don't know how deep I want to get into that, but
him on the spot.
I know, right? But
you should tell people what fractional reserve banking is.
Fractional reserve banking is scary when you really, really think about it. I don't know how much you know about it, but
I don't know anything about it. It's a new term.
The banking system, let's be real, they control everything.
Sure.
Part of the reason why we like XRP is because they're working with the banks. If you're working alongside the banks, you're going to make some money. Let's be real, we're in it for making some profit, right? Fractional reserve banking, to put it in just kind of simple terms, whatever the deposits are on that bank, they can loan up to about 9 times there. So if they have let's say a bank has $1 million that they've had deposited, right? They can loan that money 9 times. So they can loan out $9 million on that money that they don't have.
That they hold $1 million.
They hold $1 million.
So it's like the banks can basically print money.
They're printing money on top of what the Federal Reserve is printing. And when you go down the rabbit hole of what that leads to each step, it gets pretty scary on there. Most people, and then was it last September? I think it might have been last September. There was new legislation that came out that said something that banks no longer had to have that reserve to lend out money.
Really?
On there.
Was that when Brian Brooks was the comptroller of the currency around that time?
It might have been. I don't remember. I want to say it was either this past September or the September before. But I remember seeing all the legislation come out and the news articles and stuff like that, and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. I'm like, they're not having reserves on any of this, so these banks can just go rogue and just start lending out crazy money, you know? Yeah, and that leads down to a whole thing of how the economy can crash a lot faster and whatnot, you know, but it gets scary out there when you really deeply look into what's going on and how the system works and everything like that, you know.
Well, one thing I do in my store, and it's kind of on purpose, is when people go to pay me, when I'm charging them for a safe, I'll say cash, credit, or crypto. And then it kind of opens the door. I'm surprised at how many people will start talking about crypto when I say that. And I had a guy in there 2-3 nights ago buying one of those pistol safes I was telling you about that you get for free after the rebate. And I said that to him, and he's like, well, I could pay you in crypto, but I'll just charge it on my card. And I was like, oh, are you doing a little bit of crypto stuff? And he's like, I bought Bitcoin when it was $20, and I bought Ethereum when it was $6 or whatever he said, you know, whatever the numbers were. And I was like, geez, man, so you're probably doing all right. And he's like, I'm still holding it. I haven't done anything with it yet. And then he started getting on XRP and talking about XRP. And what he had said was, I think when they wire money, it's a program called Swift.
Correct.
And so he was saying that, and he said that XRP is like the same technology as Swift is the way I understood it.
Not the same technology, but it serves the same function.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so that's what he was saying. He was like, I believe it's just a matter of time until this lawsuit's done. They're going to win it, and they're just going to take over all of that. And I told him, I was like, well, I think it's interesting because if you're going to follow the banks, most of the 1%ers own the banks. And so I'm like, so those are the people I want to be on their side, right? Like you're saying.
You hate to have them win, but also if you're going to play the game, like Bitcoin came out to be against the banks and be decentralized and be anonymous and this and that and go against everything the banks are, right?
Yet it's the currency of El Salvador.
Right. It's funny how things change.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, but ultimately the banks are never going away.
Sure.
You know, they're going to run the world, and they always have.
Well, that's like I think that's what I was trying to, or him and I were talking about, is it's a matter of time till they just adapt to it, and then they just take on cryptocurrency. And if Ripple is the way they do that, well, I mean, you guys might have to start loaning me some money at that point.
Well, and back to the SWIFT system. So for people that don't know about the SWIFT system, that's how banks move money back and forth right now. And I like to use Ripple's own analogy on this. You know, let's say Wells Fargo wants to send JP Morgan $100 million in Europe, you know. The quickest way to actually move that money is actually put it in a briefcase and fly it over there. Because the SWIFT system, which is wire transfer system, you have your sending bank, you have your receiving bank, and then you have beneficiary banks in the middle, and then there's tons and tons of fees all in between there.
Sure.
And the whole process takes up to 5 to 7 days depending on where you're sending it. Not only that, all these banks have to have dormant capital sitting in those to have these pre-funded accounts so that they can exchange them,
so they can move it.
Exactly. So when you think about the SWIFT system, it's basically the railroad system 40 years ago is when it came out, to be able to move money. But to send $100 million or $50 million or even $50, it's extremely expensive to do that. And it's super slow, it's time consuming, and you have no really record of, hey, is it no confirmations or anything like that. It's a little bit scary, And I think they said the ratio is about 6% that don't make it to their end destination. And when you're talking about millions of dollars, that banks are sending or people are sending, that's a lot of errors. You know?
Yeah.
Now with XRP and Ripple, it's basically doing what email did for information as far as with money. You know, the transfer and the settlement is the exact same. It's all in one process. Does it in 3 seconds, you know, and it's 1,000 times cheaper.
Yeah.
It's funny because there was something going on with the XRP network last week where it's like, hey, the fees are increasing. The fees increased 100 times on the XRP network. Right now, I don't know if anyone has seen the fees on the gas fees on Ethereum network. I mean, they can get expensive.
Yeah, I've paid them a lot.
So it was funny because I was transferring some crypto, you know, earlier this week, and it's like, do you want to use the normal fees, which was 0.000012 of a cent? It's like, or do you want to use the fast fees or whatever, you know? And it was 0.001 on there. So still less than 1 penny.
Yeah.
To move, you know, $20,000 on there. Now, if I had wired that to somewhere,
right,
it's going to cost 20, 30, 40, 50 bucks or something like that, you know? And I can move it for less than a cent, and it only takes 3 seconds to do.
Yeah.
And the settlement's done. You know, that's what the banks love about it. You know?
Well, you guys follow, I don't know how to say his last name. It's like Tom Ballio or Tom, do you guys know what I'm talking about?
I don't think so.
So he's an influencer. I mean, he's a millionaire. He's done, you know, made all the money in business, and he's like full in on crypto. And he's sitting, I think he's at Vivint Arena, sure, is where this video was. And he's sitting out in the middle of the floor talking to people, and he was telling them, like, if you don't believe in crypto or you're not in it, he's like, you just don't get it. Like, and then he goes in to talk about how that's going to work. And he says, if you're sitting in the Bellagio and you've ran out of money and you need money right now, and he talks about like how it's going to transfer, like you were just saying, it's this fast and there's very low fees, and then you can go back to gambling. He says, or let me explain it like this. He's like, if you're going to go wire money, you have to do it before 2 p.m.
Yeah.
Because after 2 p.m. you can't do it, and the banks do that on purpose so they can earn interest off of that until the next day. Mm-hmm. And he's like, so if you need to transfer money at 6 p.m., you can't. Or wire money, I think, mm-hmm, it was. And so he was saying, with this technology, at 6:25 p.m., you can wire money across the world, and it's going to take seconds and charge you pennies.
Yeah. The funny thing is your average retail investor, your average person, they're like, well, why does that even matter to me? You know, I don't need to go wire money or this and that, you know. But when you're talking about how money moves around the world, that's a big, big deal, because there's, I think, $6 trillion a day now, and just in the foreign exchange markets, it's traded back and forth every single day. Wow. So whether that's going from, you know, Europe to the U.S. or Mexico to Japan or Britain to, you know, Australia, there's $6 trillion that's moving every single day. So it may not matter to you, but there's enough people in this world that it's affecting as far as fees. And there's people are losing just a ton of money on wire transfers, you know?
Yeah.
And the other thing that you have to pay attention to is the change in currency, right? So like the values in currency. Yep. Because when you wire transfer money, you're subject to like 5 to 7 days of volatility in whatever base currency you're sending to whatever you're receiving, right? And with crypto, it's 3 seconds. So right, yeah, crypto is extremely volatile, but only for 3 seconds. So
yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, you're rolling the dice on 5 days instead of a snap of a finger.
Yeah.
Well, and I know you got to go, dude, so I don't want to make this too late. We're getting pretty close to 9.
Let me see.
It's already been an hour.
It goes fast.
And Brooks wants to keep talking still. It's cool.
Give me 1 second here.
Yeah, I'd love to get you as much time as I can. I just wanted to be respectful of your time, too. So
I hear you. What can we talk about?
Let's talk about how you would buy XRP, because a lot of people talk to me about that right now since we kind of went over XRP a little bit. So maybe let's talk about, because someone's like, I'm on crypto.com, I'm on Coinbase, I'm on these things, and I can't buy it because it's not available at today, right? So how would you go about buying that, and how would, let's see, how would you say this? How would you make it less scary to do that? Because people are going to get scared when you have to start jumping through different exchanges.
Yeah, the easiest way is through Uphold, honestly. You just download the app and then put in your information. You have to do what's called KYC, know your customer. So that would be, your driver's license.
And people get freaked out about that because I've had people be like, it asks for my driver's license. Is that normal? I'm like, yeah, dude, that's normal.
Yeah, I mean, the easiest way to explain it is you're moving money, you're touching money, like, you know what I mean? Like they have to know who they're dealing with, so there's no money laundering. So
yeah, money still has to be accounted for and everything. I honestly think the more hoops that you have to jump through, the better the opportunity is.
Yeah, very true, especially in the beginning.
And it's more like first mover's advantage kind of thing.
Good point.
Once it hits mainstream, like most of the gains are usually already gone.
Well, it's like if you've heard of it, it's too late type of
exactly.
thing.
Exactly.
It's like when we got an XRP, you couldn't buy with a debit card. You had to use Bitcoin.
Oh, so you had to go buy Bitcoin and then
buy Bitcoin, wait for it to transfer. That takes 40 years, and then hopefully the money gets there, and then it finally does, and then you can transfer for XRP.
It's funny because I think it was 2017 when we had the office.
So are you good? You good on time?
Yeah, okay. I can probably go another 15, 20 minutes. I'll push it out a little bit. When we had our office out in Herkin, people, how do I say this? The currency exchanges or the crypto exchanges, they couldn't keep up with the amount of people that were onboarding onto there, so people tried to set up account and they couldn't fund their accounts, for days on end. And it was just funny because we had been set up for so long prior to that people would come in like, hey, I want to buy $5,000 of XRP. Hey, I want to buy $10,000. I mean, we had people just coming in and just hey, get me into this, get me into this, get me into this. And they didn't have their own accounts. And so they're like, hey, will you buy this for me? I'll give you the money, this and that. And I mean, that's how crazy people were back then about getting into it as well. And the exchanges just being so slow with that. So, I mean, it's best that you have all your exchanges set up before any big momentum happens. So you have your entryways and you have your exit ways already set up and ready to go on that too. I think that's an important point.
And my grandparents are trying to get into it, right? And they're in their 80s. And I'm trying to explain it to them. And I finally just said, here, like, I'm doing crypto.com. Sign up with crypto.com, play around with it a little bit, get verified, get all that. And then if you want to do something, we'll move off from there. Yeah. So yeah, kind of exactly what you're saying. Like, at least just set up with something.
Absolutely.
And and I've been doing that with friends too. Getting them set up it'll take 24 hours to verify them. Well, then it's like, then they move money out of their bank account into it. And then it's 5 days for them to verify that bank transfer. And it's like, yeah, if you wanted to capitalize on any of those things right now, you've already missed that boat. Exactly. Yeah. So it's a good point.
Yeah, that can definitely happen.
Yeah.
For sure.
Sorry, you were going to say something. I cut you off.
I don't even remember.
So you were talking about Uphold. So can you get XRP on Uphold then?
Yeah, you can. Yeah,
you can buy it right off there.
Yeah, it's best if you don't use your bank account, though, because they hold your money for 60 days.
That's
so
right.
Use a debit card and then buy it. It's super easy. Anybody can figure it out. It's really, really simple on Uphold.
I don't know if I'd say that, dude. I'm not very bright. You had to walk me through a lot of stuff.
You could easily figure it out. I got faith in you, Derick.
I will say, if you are local, Mountain America doesn't work, though. You have to use like America First or Wells Fargo or something like that.
See, I've got Wells Fargo and I haven't had an issue.
You should be okay with that. But Mountain America, for some reason, won't hook up to Uphold. I can't get it to link.
Interesting.
It's a plot issue.
Yeah. I think so, too.
We just bought 20 minutes, so where are we going?
You tell me.
We're going to the moon here soon, hopefully. Yeah, people just need to keep buying, Like,
I feel pretty strong about all
keep
of that.
holding this.
So here's my perspective on the whole market as a whole right now.
Okay.
Everyone talks about these 4-year cycles and super cycles and everything like that.
Yep, I've heard that too.
So based off of market cap, Fibonacci's, dominance levels and stuff like that, this is kind of getting technical for some of the people out there, Bitcoin and Ethereum have already done what they've needed to do as far as Fibonacci extensions, making their certain structure leveled moves or fractal moves, however you want to call it. So we're coming up a point here in the next little while where I think that Bitcoin and Ethereum are going to fall, and all that money that's coming out is going to be transferred into the altcoin market, because we've had a few altcoins that have had a little bit of a run. You've seen Doge and SHIB move up and everything like that, but the majority of everything is still setting below their 2017 all-time highs, which means there's still opportunity to make some money in the markets. Not financial advice. Please do your own research on all that. But basically, like, my thought perspective is if something hasn't reached its all-time high or past it from 2017, it's still going to be a good opportunity in the short term for now. I think we're going to be going into a bear run or a bear market here in the next little while, because I believe that Bitcoin and Ethereum have already done their runs and what needed. There's a possibility it may go for one more high up there. Based off the data, I don't think so, but I'm not 100% right all the time.
You don't control the market.
Yeah, I don't control the market. That's just
You don't have a crystal ball?
No, I wish I did, but
Me too.
What do you think, Zach?
I think the same way Brooks
Same
does,
thing.
honestly. Yeah. Like, technical analysis is key and crypto really follows technical analysis pretty well. And that being said, everything that Brooks said, honestly, is what I think is going to happen too.
Not only that, but the technical analysis, when you plan out the moves of what's going to happen on there or what you think it's going to do based off the data, a lot of people say, okay, when Elon Musk came out and said, hey, Tesla blah, 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 or whatever news article comes out, people think, oh, China's banning Bitcoin, that's when it's falling. If you know how to do technical analysis and you look back, it actually shows where it's going to end, and then there just happens to be a news event on that day. Like Coinbase did its IPO the same exact day Bitcoin topped, and then everything started coming down from there. Little stuff like that. But basically, the charts tell the story, and they can kind of tell you when some sort of news event that puts fear or greed into the market will come about.
Yeah.
So it's I don't know if we're living in a matrix or whatnot, but looking back on all the data, you can analyze it before and see, okay, there's probably going to be a news event right here, or there's probably going to be some sort of news event right here. Sure enough, it happens almost flawlessly.
Yeah, see, I try to like look at the graphs and everything and try to predict anything. And normally I'm wrong because I haven't put enough time. I haven't had enough time to put into it.
Yeah.
Or the duration just hasn't been long enough that I've been playing with it like you guys have. So it's always fun though to get in there. And like I said, I mean, the first thing I tell people is like, don't put any money in that you can't afford to lose.
100%. That's what I tell people too.
Don't get in a bad spot to try and get rich quick on something.
Because it won't.
You can never get rich quick.
It's not a thing.
If you happen to get in the right time, that's just luck, honestly.
Right.
And that happens too. And then people lose everything because of that. Like, you got to be very careful.
It's like lottery winners. If somebody makes a quick amount of money really quick, they don't know how they made it that quick. And so they don't understand how to keep it either.
Yeah.
And I usually go back to my first time ever trading. As quick as I made it, I started making emotional decisions. I made some money really quick, but then I lost it just as quick and then blew through 4 accounts, And then I realized, okay, I've got to be logical about this. Yeah. And then the more time that you spend in the markets, you'll actually realize, okay, it's not, it's the time that's in the market, not necessarily the timing of it.
Got you.
So.
Well, another thing I click on going through CoinMarketCap, I always feel like I'm saying it wrong. That's how you say it, right?
CoinMarketCap.
Yeah.
You got it.
Every time I'm going through there, I'm like, okay, well, let's see how long this coin's been running. And then I'll do like the all-time figures. And it's been running for like 2 months.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's on that particular exchange too. Keep that in mind.
Okay. Because I saw that tab today that said like newly added. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, wait a second. Like, so that's not how long that coin's been a coin. That's just from when they've picked it up.
When they listed it, yeah.
When they listed it.
Yep.
That's it. Yeah, because I've like been looking off of it being like, oh, I don't want to get into that. It's only been a coin for a month.
Yeah.
But that's not the case.
Like, even if you look at Coinbase, I don't even think you can look up their chart anymore for XRP, but Coinbase's chart started way later than the actual, other exchanges that's had XRP listed longer, and that's the same case in any crypto. So,
last thing I guess we could talk about before we get out of here, because I think we'll talk for a little bit about it. Another thing I've been talking to people about, because you have SHIB and you have Doge, and they're there's nothing behind them. Like, it's just a popularity. Am I right? I mean, it's just a popularity scheme, part, really.
Yeah.
But
all speculation.
But yeah, but something like XRP has a purpose behind it.
Correct.
It's called utility.
Utility. Okay. Because I was talking to my grandparents about that, and I was kind of like, well, there's tons of different things, but if you want to get into one, you're probably better off getting one because they've been in the stock market their whole lives, and they've tried to teach us about the stock market. And I'm like trying to relate it to the stock market, you know, like, well, this coin is backed by this company, or this company created the coin and they have this purpose and they have security for these people. And so, I mean, can you expound on that? Is there anything you can talk about with that? Does that make sense? Like,
honestly, utility is everything in a coin or any asset, right? If it provides some kind of good value, then it's going to do well, right? So like XRP can transfer money quickly and better than Swift. So, you know, that's a real good real world utility type of situation. And if a coin has that, then yeah, it's going to do good ultimately, I would think, depending on its purpose. But, you know, you got to keep doing more research than just looking at the surface of it.
So go ahead.
Most of the stuff probably in your top 10 or 20 on CoinMarketCap, most of those will probably have some sort of utility, whether it's you know, gaming or banking or moving value or being anonymous or whatever it is, you know. But the crypto market is so new that everybody wants to make money in it. Everybody wants to make money quickly in it as well. You have to be very careful out there because there's a lot of scams that go on. Mm-hmm. You know, there's a lot of what's called rug pulls. What was that one? Squid Game, or it was like Squid Games or the Squid Game one. I don't know. Did you hear about that one?
Yeah, I think that account was tied to like several different other coins that was made. Yeah. So like there's an issuer wallet, and that wallet will issue a certain IOU, and that particular account issued like several other different tokens as well, if that makes sense.
But there's a lot of people that are like, hey, let's make a coin, let's hype it up, and let's
go Brandon, dude.
Let's go brand it.
Did you see that one? The Let's Go Brandon.
Oh no, actual Let's Go Brandon. No, I haven't seen that one.
They did a coin called Let's Go Brandon, and
wow.
the letter thing was FJB.
Yeah, seems about right. But see, even stuff like that, even though there's a meaning behind it and stuff, there's somebody that wants to make some money off of it.
Yeah.
You know, which everyone wants to make money in crypto, but whoever gets caught holding the bag the longest is ultimately the loser. You know, you have to know when to get out as well, because those little coins and stuff, people that don't have any real utility behind it, they're just, hey, let's create a coin, let's pump it up. And then when they see those markets moving, people FOMO into it, you know, and they're buying at the top. And all those people that got in down there, boom, they just pull out their money, and you just lost all your money.
Yeah, that happens.
It happens on a daily basis all the time, because there's like, what, 10,000 cryptos plus now?
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Grows daily. It's crazy.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about Doge. I'm like, I think it's already had its life. It's had its run. And I mean, even though it dipped to like, what's it, 15, I think right now, when it hit 17 or 16, I think I bought a couple $100 of it. I moved some Ethereum into it just to see. I was like, well, if it pumps again, then I'll probably just sell. But with
Doge is one of those ones where it's moved into the top 20 now, where it's still a meme coin. I don't think there's going to be any real utility behind it, you know.
Right.
But there's enough people invested into it that you can still make some money off of it. You know, you still have to definitely be very, very careful with it, you know. I'm not a fan of Doge, just in the sense that it's doesn't really have any utility to me or anything like that. And I'll be honest, I'm 98% in XRP, pretty much.
So you like it?
So you believe in it?
Something like that. it's crazy when you do. I don't know. I'm probably thousands of hours into research on XRP and just the why behind it and what it's actually doing, you know. So, and it's hard to vocalize all those hours of research into just like, why should I buy XRP?
Right.
Simplest form is, hey, they're working with the banks run the world.
Follow the money.
Follow the money. It's the best way to explain it.
And this is what I believe, but go do your own research.
It's exactly.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny that people, you know, they still ask us to get into crypto all the time, and those are my first words. Hey, do your own research. This is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
you know, don't just blindly invest just because I say this is a good project, you know, like I can still be wrong. And I'm not afraid to admit that I'm wrong. I've made mistakes. You know, I mean, I've lost plenty of money in crypto.
Well, see, I'm terrified of like losing relationships over it.
Yeah.
So when people bring it up to me, I'm like, dude, I almost don't even want to talk about it because I'm like, you know, I'm into mining. Well, dude, should I get into mining? I'm like, I don't know. Like, do you have 20 grand to throw into all this stuff that you're going to mine Ethereum for a couple months until they shut it down? Yeah. You know, like it.
Well, in mining, you have to treat like a business. You know, you're buying your cards and your rigs and, you know, I mean, your electricity.
Anybody that has graphic cards soon, let me know.
Do you need some?
Yeah, I need one. Maybe two. I'm just kidding, Derick. Make your money. Keep mining.
Well, no, and that's what and we've talked about it. My thought is, do I just keep mining or do I start selling off these graphic cards while people are still buying them? You know, why the scalper prices are so high. And I'm like, I'm just going to keep mining. I'm just going to keep pushing through. And when Ethereum 2.0 comes around, I'll just move on to something else and hold that. I've actually moved a couple over to Ravencoin right now, and they're getting ready to do a halving on it. So I'm like, well, I'll just do it now. And then when that, I don't know if this is going to make sense to anybody listening, but the difficulty on mining it is going to go up. And so I'm trying, and then should drive the price up a little bit. And so I'm just mining it now while it's still not as difficult in the hopes that happens.
Getting that accumulation in.
Yeah. And so and that's what I've told everyone with Raptorium too. I'm like, dude, what you're going to do with Raptorium is you're going to mine it, you're going to hold it, and it should go up. You know, but is it going to take a year? Will it take 3 years? I don't know.
That's where the crystal ball comes in.
Yeah. And that's where I'm like, now I've got a couple buddies into doing CPU mining and doing Raptorium. And now I'm like, it tanks to 2 cents out of 8 cents. And I'm like, gosh, dude, should we be looking on to something else? And like, I would never even have that thought if I didn't have other people in on it.
Yeah.
And so now
you're the asshole.
Well, that's what I mean. I keep telling them. And I've got guys, I got 2 guys right now that have bought rigs from me that I'm trying to assemble them and program them right now. And so they don't even have it yet. And the coin's gone from, 4 cents to 2 cents now over the last week. And I'm like, sorry, dude. Like, do you still want your rig?
And that doesn't seem like a lot, 4 cents to 2 cents, but that's 50%.
Yeah.
You know,
right.
So
yeah. And when the profitability comes at 6 cents and we just went to 2, you know, and I mean, there's other stuff you can mine. You can even do SHIB and stuff on those. So I don't know. I think at the end of the day, it's going to be fine, but
yeah. And I say do mining until it's not profitable anymore.
Yeah. Right until the wheels fall off.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what I'm doing. I've had a lot of people, because I have like 3080 cards, and everyone's like, dude, sell those while you can still get $1,700 out of them.
What were the cards that we were going to get that one time? I pulled up the...
Is that the one you had me get?
The one I showed you, It's a safely guarded secret, Brooks. We can't say this.
Oh, are we not talking about this?
Oh, no. Well, that's another card, though. The K40, Tesla K40s,
Yeah.
No, we did sign NDAs for that, though, didn't we? For the actual card.
Oh, no.
I can't remember there. I'm pretty sure.
It's already expired if we did.
Probably.
So I bought 2 of those cards, the Tesla ones.
Have you had mined with them yet?
Well, I went to hook them up, and they're like a processor plug, like not a regular PCIe cable that I'm running everything else on. And so I was like, oh, crap. And so I don't have the right cables to hook them up. But
did you get the cables?
I haven't yet.
Oh. Slacking, Derick.
I know.
You're making money right now, dude.
I know, dude.
Instead, we're talking about crypto.
Hey, that's what this whole podcast is supposed to be about, right?
Exactly.
No, I really do hope these podcasts, start bringing awareness to cryptocurrency and stuff like that. For whatever reason that you're in it, whether you want to make a little bit of money, whether you're in it. I'll be honest, I don't think most people are in it for the technology, except for some people like us. Most people that are new to this, hey, how can I make some money? How can I save for retirement or whatnot? So it's cool to start seeing more and more people get involved in it. And
I mean, I'm very, very small on the knowledge side of it, but I feel like I've brought a whole audience to it of like just my friends and family that don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
And I know very little about it, but even just bringing that conversations to them, it's kind of grown it on my side of it on people I talk to.
Yeah.
And then meeting both of you guys too because of it.
It's super cool because I remember back in so we got in 16, and then in 17 when we kind of started pushing it a little bit, to see everybody that we got involved and, you know, how excited they got and, you know, everyone's making money and everything like that is super, super cool. But then it comes back to, you know, the whole relationship thing, and when the whole market's coming down, you know, then there's a trust level that plays into it. And luckily everybody and all of our friends and family that have been involved have trusted us. Okay, yeah, I'll hold. I trust your instinct, this and that, you know. But
yeah,
it's an
so
interesting.
There's still some light at the end of the tunnel for me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it won't ruin a whole bunch of relationships unless they invest their entire life savings at the top.
Right.
And if you tell them to hold and they don't trust you, that's on them anyway.
Yeah. Yep. Best I can say is just don't make irrational emotional decisions in the crypto market. There's one thing, if people are buying and selling in crypto, there's something that's called the Fear and Greed Index as well. I don't remember the website. You just go to Google and type in Fear and Greed Index. When that thing is usually in fear, that's usually when you buy. When that thing is in greed, that's when you want to exit the markets as well. So that, just reiterating that buy low, sell high concept, you know. People make rational decisions. Okay, the market's moving, it's moving. I got to get in. Well, guess what? You just missed 200% of gains that came in. The market's falling, it's falling. I can't take any more pain. Well, you just sold at the bottom and just lost everything. You know, markets move in cycles. Wait for the bounce to come back up or back down or whatnot, you know. So I do the complete opposite of what the herd does. You know, so when I see that everybody's freaking out and scared, I can't take this pain, cool. That's when I'm buying.
That's where you're in.
We're in it when everyone's buying in. Get in. You know, we're going to $100,000. We're going to $1 million for Bitcoin. Blah blah blah. That's when I'm gonna start pulling the reins a little bit and pull back.
We're not going to go to $1 million this time for Bitcoin.
No.
What is Bitcoin? What's the highest it's got to? 60?
64 and some change. 65. I was just looking at it earlier today.
Well, that's what so I just pulled up that trading view that you showed me.
Trading view is good.
And yeah, Bitcoin's at 4,700 right now. Ethereum's at
47,000.
Sorry, 47,000. And then I'm not used to talking into that high of numbers like you guys.
Oh,
are.
you're going to be soon.
And then Ethereum, 3,700. So you guys think?
Oh no, Bitcoin did hit 69,000.
Did it 69?
Yeah, it hit 69.
XRP 79.
69.2 looks like.
So if you guys want to get in, if you want to get into XRP, uphold, do a bank card, not your bank account.
Yeah, and I got to check to see if GateHub will still let people in from the U.S. as well.
They do. I just signed up for an account.
Okay.
Because
GateHub.net, GateHub.net. They're actually partnered with Ripple on there, but they are they are based in London or Great Britain or something like that. And right now, that's where I've been liquidating from.
Okay.
You know, but I just didn't know on new accounts or anything like that because I've had that account forever.
And then one thing I want to tell people too, because I got nervous of this, I have like 9 different crypto apps on my phone now. Like I had crypto.com and that was it. And I'm like, well, I don't want to get any other ones because I'm just doing everything on this. And then Zach kind of opened my eyes to like, no, dude, you can have this one too, and you can have that one too. And
I don't know if the camera can see this, but I've got a whole folder right here for trading in crypto that's, you know, two pages. And that's not even all the apps. I haven't even put all the apps in that already.
It's better to have multiple on and off ramps, though, because like the other day I tried to buy XRP on KuCoin. It hit like 40 cents. And then literally like an hour later, it was back up to 80. So like, you know, and at that point, like I couldn't even log in. It wouldn't send me a text to log in. That's why it's so important to have multiple on and off ramps, because you don't know if one exchange goes down, then, I mean, you could potentially lose your opportunity to cash out your money. So
yeah, because I was going to say, which one do you guys use? And then I was like, well, I'm sure you guys have multiple.
Man, there's Ledger, Coinbase, Binance US, BitTrue, Bitstamp. What are the other ones I've got on here? Bifrost, FTX.
I mean, I haven't even heard of half of these.
Sexio.
Whoa, do we need to edit that?
Yeah,
Poloniex.
I thought we were staying PG, Brooks.
That's cex.io.
Oh, now you're promoting them? Are you getting
No, I am not promoting them by
I wish
any
they'd
means.
sponsor this.
I'm actually not going to promote anyone. Like
I'll promote Xpunk, so
I will
appreciate all the things that you guys are doing on the server. Everybody, you guys are amazing.
I'll promote.
It's been amazing to work with you guys, and can't wait from here to see what happens in the future, and I know it's all bright. So
hey, you got to show off your Christmas
a Christmas hoodie,
yeah,
or sweater. Thank you for my sweater too. Appreciate it.
X-Punk's Christmas sweaters. if you guys are on video on YouTube, Zach's going to show you how much he believes in X-Punks right here.
I am.
Yeah, show him.
What am I going to show him?
Your arm. Your yeah. So he got a sweet X-Punks tattoo on his wrist. That's how much we believe in it.
I'll tell you this though, anything that Zach has touched is pretty much turned to gold. And that's not just boosting his ego. Zach is very, very, very good at what he does.
Well, you can have a conversation with him, and I think you can tell. I mean, I could.
Oh, that's why we've been best friends for 15 years now. Is because we just honestly, he does most of the talking, but I'll throw out a question or an idea, and he just boom, 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 boom. Or it's like we'll ask him, hey, is it possible to do this? And then boom, 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 boom. He just goes into yes, this. Hey, let's get it done. So
pumping you up a little bit, man. I like it.
That's why we're best friends, man.
Oh yeah.
Cool. Well, we can wrap it up. You bought us 20 minutes and we took it. Cool. So, everyone, I hope you're getting more interested in crypto. What's your guys' contact?
You're on Twitter at GLUSCSE.
And then Brooks, if you're open with people asking.
Yeah, I usually just use Instagram mostly.
Okay.
Just at BDiz, BDIZ.
BDiz.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't post a whole lot on there, but that's, if people.
But if someone had a question, they could reach out to you.
Yep.
So that's what I hope. We're opening conversations with this, with people getting a little, not being as nervous about it. It's a real thing. Like I tell everyone, I'm like, I don't know. I've pulled money out that I've made on crypto and bought real stuff. So I don't know how much more real it can be.
Right.
And to end on this, I'm buying my dream car as soon as it gets shipped with crypto.
What do you get? If we can say.
I don't know if I should say it. It's a Cadillac Ct5 Blackwing, so it's the newest CTS-V series, I guess.
Yeah.
So pushing a little over almost 700 horsepower.
That's it.
But they only have there's only about 400 or 500 of them made right now. So
really?
I think I'll have the third one in Utah.
And you're
maybe fourth.
You're a crypto guy, buy 20 hours and you sell cars for 4 hours a day. Is that exactly what you do? Yeah. So if there's someone that knows what car to get, it'd be you.
Yep, exactly.
All right, we'll wrap it up. I appreciate you guys coming. This has been fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I had a lot of fun.
I told Zach that we should just be doing this once a month or something.
Yeah.
So we'll have you, I'm sure we'll bring you back and do another one.
Absolutely.
Or maybe we just do us three every time if we're open on schedules.
Sounds good.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming. So we're about an hour and 22 minutes in, hour and 30 in. Thanks for spending some time with us. If you have any questions on crypto or anything that we can help out with, you can reach out to me, Derick Legg. You can reach out to the podcast. You could Google me and find 20 different ways to get a hold of me. So thanks for hanging out with us. If you find value in some of this stuff, send it to your friends. We do a lot of clips on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Send that stuff out. Keep growing our audience, and we appreciate you. We'll see you actually in a couple of days. So we'll see you in a couple of days.
Thanks, Eric.